Now we're starting the recording.
Okay.
No worries. We'll start the video with this. Okay, so but yeah, so far, that's what I think. Okay, but yeah, we're gonna start with this. We just discussed that taking 1v2 or any kind of man disadvantage fight is usually not good unless you know how you win. But even if the result is good, this is not like a play.
Yeah,
this is not a line of play you
really
should take. Yeah, right. There's just like no way. Like, look at this. He missed his ultimate, right? So many things like went wrong here. Like Thresh did not have mana for Q because he used Lantern. I don't know. You can't like depend on them to like monkey around or something, right? Like if this is double lift and Biofrost, are you gonna stay? Right? I'm joking. Like you need to like this play has to work 100, like 9 times out of 10, right? It's like if okay, say if double lift has 50 HP and he goes for it, you're gonna win, right? Unless he has like flash or something, right? You basically. Yeah. Any play you make, right? Any kind of decision you make has to be high success rate, right? Very high success rate. Otherwise, if you take like coin flips, you're never going to get above 50% win rate. It would be 50% win rate. So, anyways, you do end up killing him. You try and stay to push. This is gonna be dangerous. You're probably gonna die or something because Echo's here. But
yeah.
Actually, Bard can save you maybe. I think Bard can actually save you here with ultimate. Oh my god, you got it. Oh wait, you still died. Wait, this is super awkward. Wait, what is going on? Okay, hold on. Let's back it up. So the mindset here is you gotta run, right?
Yeah, I think it was a bit, I saw Echo a bit late.
Right, so if you just like run, you're like out, right? Kind of awkward, I guess, but yeah,
I'm not sure why. Yeah, I don't really know.
I think it just goes back to here, and you say, oh, you just have to back, right? Because you don't know where mid is, but yeah, basically, like after whatever this was, right? And then if you say you want to stay, you have to say who can stop me, right? So who can stop you?
Well, the Echo can roam down because that's he's got lane priorities. That's not in lane.
Right, and who else?
Twitch. I don't know where Twitch is either.
Exactly. So if you like don't know where people are, you have to assume they're coming for you. It's kind of awkward because we can see like everyone on the map based on the fog of war, but like I would imagine you don't know where the enemy jungler is, right? And there's no way you can push this fast enough and run away before someone comes for you, right? So basically, like.
Yeah, I'm not sure why I didn't keep running. Actually, I think in my head I didn't expect Bard to hit the Q, but
this is like whatever, right? The real problem was not like it was the map awareness was like the real problem here, right? Whatever this is like whatever. Like for example, Echo could have flashed a Bard Q and you're dead no matter what, right? So it's like the map awareness is like the real issue here. Like even after all this shit went down, and you ask yourself, like, what do I want? You want to push the wave. Okay, how do they stop me? You just described it. Echo Roam and Twitch gank, right? Twitch gank is probably the most obvious one. And then Thresh, can he stop you? Probably not, but right? You have to ask yourself, can they stop me? And then you say, oh, if they can stop me, right? Do I have an answer to that, right? Like for example, if you have Flash and Heal, and Echo comes for this, and you get away from his gank, Zed gets to push mid for free, so you can do that, right? But if you don't have like an answer to what they're gonna do, right, then you can't do it, right? So like for example, you want an HP advantage on the level 2, right? And you didn't like come up with an answer to the Thresh hook, so you're gonna get hit, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So, oh Jesus, Twitch is gonna win this. Holy smokes! Yeah. That's awkward. This is gonna be a fun game for you. Yeah, Twitch and Echo seems good.
I was actually cringing watching this bug. I was like, what was I doing?
Kind of maybe consider like a instead of like Berserker Greaves, maybe like Ninja Tabis, right? Instead of finishing boots, you can maybe hold on to it, or maybe just finish the Ninja Tabis quick, right? Because you know Ezreal even has lethality, right? And it's 3 AD and 1 AP damage. So I would consider armor boots, but that's just me. And then, so Bard's coming in for this play. It's like, okay. Interesting. So like when you see this kind of situation, what's your mindset? Your mindset's like, I want to clear this wave, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. But another alternative could be like, we want to kill Ezreal, and then the wave is secondary if we can't kill Ezreal, right? That could be like an alternative way to think. Because if I were you, I would be like saving my abilities for this this gank, right? Because this is like, Bard comes out and then you kill him because there's no Thresh, right? And if Twitch comes, then it's 2v2, and then your Warwick's here, so it's gonna be 3v2, so you're gonna win out. But honestly, that's fine, right? Using your Q on the wave, maybe sometimes not as good, right? When you don't have to, but that's kind of small fries right now. We have bigger fish to fry, basically. So there's some shit going on mid. You're gonna push out bot, and then what? And then what, right? Once you push out bot, then what? Like, what's the plan? You always need to have a plan of action.
Fresh isn't there, so
right.
It's
but the
probably
instant,
alright to keep pushing in.
No. But like since your team lost the fight mid, you know, what is the enemy team going to do? Right? What are some options for the enemy team? Like, we back it up here. Like, you saw that fight. I hope you saw that fight mid. But if when you see this fight mid go very poorly for your team, there are like 3 things the enemy team can do, or like 3 or 4 things, right? What are they?
They could back and spend their gold.
Right, that's one.
Stay mid where the fight was.
Right, stay mid, try to get tower damage. What's that? What else?
Roam bot.
Right, they can come gank you. And then what else?
Or they could get Rift Herald or Dragon.
Right, Rift Herald or Dragon. So in most of these cases, you have no idea where they're going, right? You can't tell if they come for Dragon. You can't tell if they're doing Dragon or coming for you, right? The only thing you can like know for sure is if they stay mid and they try and they try and do tower damage. Then you know it's like, oh, they're not coming for me. But the instant they like leave mid, you should know that they're coming for you, right? And then can you win a 2v3?
Probably not, no.
Oh yeah, but why? Basically, you can't find an answer to
I don't have
their
any
man
summoners.
advantage, right? You don't have an answer to their man advantage, right? So if this fight breaks out, it's almost impossible for you to win. Good thing that Twitch wasn't here, right? Because this guy's gonna walk up and flay, and then everyone's gonna be sad. So definitely back off the instant like you see them missing here. I think you can see Twitch clearing a ward, so you got some time. But like lantern gank, right? Twitch can be like 1600 units away or whatever, and Thresh is gonna throw a lantern, whatever. So yeah, be very scared of stuff like that. So that was a really nice dodge, though, I have to admit.
Oh, he almost got me. Like, I think he was expecting me to go back slightly.
So what's the mindset here?
Well, I still don't know where Twitch is, I believe. So I'd probably want to keep the minion wave on my side.
Right, you can't. It's very hard.
I don't actually know if I do that.
Right. But it's good that you like know now, because then you can translate that into game if you didn't know, right? So basically, the mindset is like, oh, my jungler is top. The enemy jungler could be anywhere. You don't take a fight unless it's like so good you can win 2v3, right? So kind of awkward that you're looking to fight here, right? This is kind of like, maybe you could be like looking for damage, but it's super awkward because, like, you know, Thresh hook or something, and then everyone's super sad. But yeah.
Yeah, Ezreal went like a really weird build. I think he went Duskblade in the end. I'm not sure if that's like what you build.
I'm sure it can work out, but it really doesn't make sense for this kind of like team comp. So yeah, okay. So you see Thresh mid, right? So you know this is gonna be a 2v2 at worst, right? So in a 2v2, who's gonna win? The side with the most advantages, right? So it's like skill shots, CC, HP, whatever. So if Bard misses his Q, everyone's gonna be sad. Okay, so they landed everything, you're gonna die, 100%, right? The instant you see that Bard misses something, or it's impossible for him to hit something, you know it's impossible to win, right? So it's just nothing you could do, right? The only thing you could have done was not be there, right? So if you're like ever in a situation where, okay, what do you want, right? So we're gonna go through these steps. What do you want?
Thresh is mid, so we have. Well, at the moment we'd have the man advantage there, but
Yeah,
so
like what's your goal right now? Right, what's your goal right now?
tower damage maybe, or zone in Ezreal off farm if he's down a man.
Right, I think like super specific. Like, what are you gonna do in the next 3 seconds?
Probably
So
just
like,
shove the wave in.
yeah, shove the wave in, right? So you want to shove the wave in. So that's your number one priority, right? And then the second thing you think is, how can they stop me? So how can they stop me?
Well, Ezreal on his own can't stop me, but obviously Twitch
Right.
could come down.
So Twitch can be here, and then do they have TP up? And then hopefully you have timers. You have like the timers, so there's no TP, or there's no TP ward for whatever reason. So there's no TP. So the only way they can stop you, or maybe not the only way, but a way they can stop you is they're going to have a Twitch come, right? Okay. So your first priority is push the wave, and you say Twitch can come. Okay. So what happens? So what's your plan of action when he comes out, right? So if you're pushing the wave in, what's your plan of action? What's your plan of action?
I'll probably want to focus Twitch. So
the instant he comes out, you want to focus Twitch, right? So right off the bat, we figured out what's wrong. The plan of action is you're gonna wait until Twitch comes out. You're gonna turn on Twitch, right? You're gonna push the wave, and if it comes out to stop you, you're gonna turn on Twitch, right? So the problem with this picture already is you guys are going after Ezreal, right? So if you can like think out this thought process like through, these kind of mistakes will never happen, right? Because your priority is push the wave. So if you are pushing the wave and then Ezreal walks up to you, and that's a different story. But you guys are like chasing him, right? So that's like the issue here, right? Bard also, same thing with Bard, right? Bard had no idea what he wanted to do, or maybe he was thinking Twitch doesn't exist, right? This literally could have been any jungle, right? Give me a jungler. This is still almost same situation, right?
Yeah.
Right, this could have been like Elise, and then everyone's sad. This could have been like a Rek'Sai. Doesn't matter as Twitch, right? Maybe if it was like what's like an awful jungler? I can't even think of one, right? Even if it was like Sejuani or something, like a tank jungler, it's like probably gonna be the same situation. They're gonna kill Bard, and you can't kill either of them, right? So if you need basically ask yourself what you want. That's like the first priority, and then how are they gonna stop you? You come up with a plan, and then if something changes, right? If Ezreal suicides into you, maybe your priority changes. Maybe you're like, oh, let's just kill Ezreal first and then push the wave. But that's the kind of thinking you need to do in order to prevent all these kinds of it's like all these mistakes are like similar, which is good. But this is like the way you should think to kind of to improve on this kind of stuff, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions so far, by the way?
Not. I don't think so. No. It's just,
okay.
Good. I don't know. It's just I think I know some of this stuff, but like I think it's like kind of effort to think about it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course,
Like,
right? It takes a lot of brain power, right?
Yeah.
League is a mental game, right? It's all like mental, right? The like mechanics, like being able to flash Malphite out and whatever, it's not like that hard compared to something like Counter-Strike, right? The kind of mechanics of the game is a lot less hard. It's all like thinking, right? Thinking and like how to not get caught, how to catch people. So the way you like get better at League is you gotta do this every game, right? Literally every game, every second, because every time you don't do this, it like builds a bad habit, right? And every time you do this, it builds good habits, right? So it's like it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing, right? So like here, what's the mindset? You want to catch the wave. You want to push this out. And then how do you get stopped, right? They're gonna force on you with Thresh Flash, right? It's all the same, right? Even if you see Thresh mid, how they stop you, Twitch, right? So it is very much a thinking game, right? So if you like prepare to play like the ranked game, you need to prepare to think about all this kind of stuff, because the day where you like stop thinking about this stuff is like the day you start regressing, if that makes any sense, right?
Yeah. I think it's also like I play quite a lot of games as well, and like sometimes I'll be in quite a good mindset. Like I'll be properly thinking about what I'm doing, but then like other times I'll just not think about it because I'm just playing quite a lot. But
right, like playing like on autopilot, right? That happens to the best of us. So it's basically it's really about like disciplining yourself into being able to do this every game, right? Like if you force yourself to do this 2 months in a row, like 60 days in a row, you're doing this. On that, like after 2 months, you won't have to actively think about it. You'll be like actually doing this without having to say, "Oh, I need to force myself to do this." So
Yeah.
that's basically what we're trying to do is build, like prepare you to build good habits, right? Wow, you got a shutdown. That's good. But he did kill Warwick, so that's kind of awkward. But yeah, like sure, there were a lot of issues with Bard killing himself, and you know your team maybe shouldn't be feeding Twitch, but there were a lot of things that we can do to change. Right, exactly. There's always something you can do better, right? So after you kill this Twitch, like what's the mindset here? We're gonna start building this kind of habit, right? What do you want right now?
Well, I don't have a tower bot, so obviously, well, Twitch and Echo are dead, but Ezreal and Fresh are still alive. They could just kill me like they did the last time. So I probably just want to shove this wave off the turret, and then maybe look mid maybe.
Why mid?
The tower's still up, so I could look to get damage on the tower with like the safety of one of my teammates rather than being by myself.
But okay, and then how? So far, what you want right now is to push bot, right? Push this wave out, right? And then you say you want to rotate mid because it's like dangerous to be by yourself, right? And then you can't 1v2. And then whenever something changes, right? So that's your plan. Whenever you see like an enemy jungler or you see the enemy support on the other side of the map, your plan sometimes changes, right?
Yeah.
So when you see when your team spots this Thresh, does this plan change, right? Push bot, go mid. Does this change?
Yeah, because Twitch and Echo are at base, so they're not gonna be able to get me for a good 20 seconds, maybe.
Right, so you can push out another wave bot, right? So then the
Yeah.
priority is push out another wave. Ezreal shows up, you don't give a shit unless he tries to force on you. In which case, if he forces on you, what's your plan? You're gonna auto attack him and then EQ or something like that, right? So that's always the mindset you should be having. And you see Ezreal mid, so that you know no one can stop you bot. So you push this out and you say you want to go mid. Sure. I think this is a good choice, right? If you have nothing to buy, going mid here. Oh, I was gonna say going mid here and have Zed go bot is good, right? Because Zed can have kill pressure, it lets you be safe mid, etc. All these reasons.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Zed can kill anyone at this point.
Yeah. So then this is where you say something like, "Oh, Zed go bot," right? Or something like that, right? So like here, what do you want? You wanted a base, right?
Yeah, I think I came up because I saw there was a few of their members in River, so I just came up just in case, but obviously nothing happened in the end, so...
Okay. But like, I hope you're buying like Infinity Edge or something. Okay, this is awkward. Okay, so every time you buy, you need like a good reason to buy, right? Because if you back, what happens? Like think of the pros and cons of backing. Right, they have a man advantage. So for 30 seconds, they can do whatever the hell they want. Can they do Rift Herald in 30 seconds?
Yeah, easily, yeah.
Yeah, probably, but they probably can't do it unless they set up vision. But yeah, they can set up vision for Rift Herald in those 30 seconds, or they can like shove in, and your team's gonna make a mistake by trying to stop them, right? Something like that. So if you back, you need to have like a good reason to base, right? So keep that in mind whenever you want to like back. So because like if you want to have like a weird back timer, better be for something huge, right? You need like a static shiv or like something here. But that's super awkward. And then if you want to swap lanes with Zed, then you say, "Yo, Zed, I want to swap," right?
I did say you could probably go bot, but I don't think he wanted to.
That's always awkward, right? But here you're covering mid. Like see the issue with the backing, right? Prime example, they like forced the fight, so now Zed is low. They're gonna push mid. They're not gonna get mid. They're gonna go Rift Herald or Dragon or something, and it's really hard for your team to stop that, right? So what's going on here? This is free damage. Nice try on the trap. One thing
I think I always do the trap
note,
a bit late.
Yeah. If you ever like come across this, wait, how did that not hit? What? You see this?
Yeah, I think I just did it a bit too far behind him.
No, don't worry about that. It was good. That was good trap timing. So I'll call bullshit on that, but you had the right idea, so that's good. Don't worry about that kind of stuff, right? We don't worry about that kind of stuff in the game. We worry about the big stuff that changes everything. Okay, so you guys are forcing. This could be questionable. I don't really know how you guys kill anyone here.
Yeah, I don't think we do.
Oh, you got a TP at least. So interesting. Okay, so stop. What's the mindset here, right? So before the mindset was like, oh, I'm gonna help my team, right? Something like that. You're gonna clear the wave off the tower.
Yeah.
So now after all this is done, right? What are you thinking? You always have to have something in mind, right? Because whenever you don't, right? When you said I have issues with autopilot in the mid game, this is why, right? You need to always be having some kind of goal in mind, right? So what's the goal here?
If they stay mid, I need to stay obviously to keep shoving the wave off the turret. There's also a wave shoving in bot, I believe. So I'm probably pretty safe to go get that as well if they're not staying mid.
So the mindset is if they stay mid, I'm gonna clear waves safely, right? We're gonna clear waves and wait for our team to respawn. And if they all like go off and do something else, say they go dragon and I can't stop them, I'm gonna go catch bot, right? So that was what you said, right?
Yeah, especially because Zed needs to back as well, so I might need to stay here.
So if you ever walk up and try and hit someone, we know there's an issue, right? So the first priority is clearing the wave, right? So you have to be super scared when you're clearing this wave. Okay, that's good. Because Twitch is.
Yeah, I actually pinged Twitch this time. Like I was just trying to remind myself.
Right. That's good.
Yeah, I don't think I could defend that.
You say, okay, you can't clear this wave because Clyde went top or something. That's fine. Oh my god, there's no way. Oh wait, you flashed this. Interesting. There's like no way he's gonna kill you, right? But
yeah, I think it was just because the amount of times I've died like really silly this game. I just thought I'd need to play a bit more with a bit more thought process, but yeah, I just ended up doing some silly things.
The main priority is clearing the wave, right? So hitting this guy, unless you're gonna like kill him or do significant damage, you shouldn't like change your plan, right? And then you say, it's kind of awkward that you flash that, but be more, what is it called? Conservative with your flash, because it's like super important, right? Like he's not gonna kill you. There's no way. You guys did get the kill, right? So what's the plan here? What's the plan here? All right, after all that happened, plan
I'm
updates.
low enough to do. I'm low enough, so I can't really do anything on that HP. So I think I possibly have enough money for a shiv though.
Right. So the plan is you're gonna back and then do what? Right. What are you gonna do here?
It's a wave shoving in bot towards us, and there's a couple members of them mid as well, so I could probably just go back there because Ezreal's shoving in our wave.
Alright, you're gonna go mid, you're gonna clear, you're gonna tell Zed to go bot. I hope he goes bot, because he should go bot.
I don't think he ever goes bot.
That's like awkward, right? You know, sometimes that happens, but that's whatever, right? You can't really go bot because Twitch is too strong now. So basically you're just gonna try and stay mid and hope for the best, I guess, right? Do you have another game, by the way, or is this the only one uploaded?
This is the only one I have.
Okay. Because like this, it's like the first 15 minutes. We've already seen like exactly what we kind of need to work on, right? Like what's the goal? What's the goal, right? How do I get it? How can they stop me, right? And then if they can't stop you, you know this is a good plan, right? If they can't stop you, you know it's not a great plan. So I feel like there's no way this is gonna be good, right? How do we know this is good?
Well, I died, but I'd say Twitch dying is a lot.
It's pretty worth it, right?
Worth, yeah.
I'm not sure. Wait, I'm not sure how. I feel like this should be a 4v5 with your team teleporting in or something, but it is a good trade. It is a good trade. Actually, is it a good trade?
I think it's only at 1-for-1.
It's like okay.
Got the shutdown, so I don't think I was worth that much, but
oh, here we go. Interesting, right? So like, this is the same concept as you're playing Malphite, they play Ashe, they have Flash, you try and alter, right? This is the same concept, right? He's like didn't play around Ezreal eating out, right? This is suit. What is going on? I don't know what's going on anymore. This is just solo queue.
So that echo Jensen's quite a few times.
Okay, so the plan is you go mid, go bot, catch bot. Sure. Okay, whatever happened. Interesting fight. I don't really know what happened, but you're here. You're pushing bot, right? And you say Twitch could be here, but your team is nearby. So your goal is to push bot, and then see what develops after, right? Because they can't stop you.
Yeah, I see Twitch top, actually.
Right. So they can't stop you, so you say, I can go for tower damage, right? So you go for tower damage. Can they stop you? You see Echo mid. They still can't stop you, right? So it's still very much the same. Like, what are you gonna do after you get this tower, right? You need to know. You need to know what you're gonna do next.
I probably need to go back mid.
Right. Wait, but couldn't you just clear that wave right there?
Yeah, but I didn't know where Ezreal was or Fiora at that point.
Right, but if you can see when they respawn, and then you say, okay, say you assume they walk straight bot, right? Are they gonna get there in time? And the answer is yes or no, right? So
no, probably not.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to tell. In this case, I think it's reasonable to, like, if you saw like the timer or whatever, or you saw people are fighting mid, he backed. I don't know what's going on with this Ezreal, but even if it is Ezreal, right? In a 1v1, are you scared of Ezreal in a 1v1 when you have this big of a minion wave?
Probably not, no.
Right. So, how if you were playing Ezreal, right? How would you do it? He comes up right here. How would you do it? Like, how would he fight you?
Well, I'd probably ult the minion wave, just so there's not so much.
Right. So if he ults the minion wave, and then you're like standing right here, you like hit him while he ults. I don't know. It's not possible, right? if you're playing Ezreal and the other guy is Caitlyn, and you see this big of a wave, and you try and stop him, what's gonna happen? You're probably gonna die, right? There's no way to fight that off. So think about it in terms of that too, right? Like same thing. Like I want this next minion wave. Who can stop me? Ezreal, can he kill me? No, right? Can he stop me? And the answer is no, right? This is basically coming up with a plan, seeing if they have a response for it, and their response is only Ezreal because you see everyone else on the map, and Fiora just spawned. And if Ezreal can't stop you, then this plan is good to go, right? They can't stop you, it's good to go, right? Yeah. So, always try and catch as many minion waves as possible. I'm guessing he didn't want to give you red. That's kind of awkward.
Yeah, I didn't really do that much damage at the time, so I was alright with that, to be honest.
So here, what's the plan, right? You always need to know what you want to do. What do you want to do here?
Well, in an ideal world, that would be bot, but...
Right, but like, in this game, the way it's developing, what do you want to do?
Well, they have members mid. They probably have priority over us, so just catch the waves. And also, they've got members in River as well, and if I wasn't there, then they could get Free Vision or Rift Herald.
Right, I agree. You got me here. You got me here, and you see what develops, and then you clear as many waves. I guess you have to share a wave with Zed, but if a fight breaks out, you're gonna go help, right? That's the idea. And then things change. I don't know what's going on, but it looks like you guys find out you have a man advantage mid, so you make a play mid, right? So after Ezreal dies, what's the plan now? Are you gonna keep pushing, right? You always need to know what you want to do, right? So if you know you want to push, and you ask yourself, how do they stop me? And you say Twitch, then that's like honestly, it could be like Eve or something, right? This could be Eve too, right? So it's not just like Twitch, even though this is pretty cancerous, right? This could be Rengar too, right? We can come up with all these stupid ass junglers. It's still the same idea. Can they stop me, right? Can they stop me? Sometimes the answer is no, based on the champion that's coming, right? Sometimes the answer is yes. And in this case, this is like almost always going to be yes, unless you have a way to stop Twitch, right? If you have like 6 items and Twitch does that, can you outplay it? And you have to ask yourself, how would I do it, right? Does Twitch have flash? If he has no flash and I net him, I'm going to win, right? Something like that, right? You always have to come up with something. Or you have to say, we have a man advantage. You always have to have a reason and like a counter reason, if that makes any sense, right? It'll stop stuff like that from happening. Yeah, go for it.
Do you keep track of everyone's summoners yourself?
Yeah, of course, right? Flash is the most important. Flash is the most important.
There's so many things that you just time it in your head yourself.
No, put it in chat. I can't remember that. I literally cannot remember. Yeah. How can you remember flash timer being like, you would be a god if you could do that, like a memory god. Like what I do is, if I press Z and I can't see the timers in the chat, I keep typing it out, right? You say 19, like, because if you don't know the timer of, say, Thresh Flash, okay? If you don't know the timer of Thresh flash, you always have to assume he's gonna flash flay you, or flash hook you, or flash over the wall. Something stupid like that, right? If you don't know his flash timer, you have to assume it's up, right? So it's super important to time it, because when it's down, you know, okay, he can't do that, right? Same thing with like, what's like a cancerous jungler? Rek'Sai, right? How many times have you been flashed on by Rek'Sai? I just like fucking every game that Rek'Sai's in, right? So
I don't really go against Rek'Sai that much, but I can see what you mean.
Okay, yeah, at least whatever. Sudani less so, I guess, but yeah. It doesn't matter what jungler it is, but anyone with like engage or catch, you need to time their flashes, right? And then if you don't have the timer in chat, right, then you have to be like, oh, they have flash up, right? Because if you get caught by their flash, then that's on you, right? So
yeah,
it's like you said, it's like a lot of effort to keep track of all this, but that's like the difference between say, you know, Diamond 1 and Diamond 5. The Diamond 1 player, people say they know more, right? They say, oh, he's not mechanically better, but he knows more. This is what they mean when they say he knows more. He's like disciplined and he does this stuff, right? It's like he doesn't know like more knowledge than you, right? He doesn't know, oh, everyone's seen like Thresh, Flash, Flay, Lantern, Gank, right? Everyone knows it, right? But the Diamond 1 player is expecting it, right? He's actively thinking about it. And Diamond 5 player, he's preparing for it. And Diamond 5 player is like, oh, it happened to me. That's kind of bullshit, right? I got ganked, right? He wasn't expecting it, so he gets caught by it. And then the LCS player is like, yo, jungler, come here. We're gonna counter gank, right? So, that's basically what it is, right? Is being able to like predict what the enemy is gonna do, kind of, right? It's not like in the League of Legends, everything we've seen so far, is this your first time seeing it, right? Every play so far, is this your first time seeing it, right?
No.
Yeah, the answer is no, right? This is very is like for us, we've played like hundreds of games, right? We've seen pretty much almost everything, right? And then anything that's like non-montages, like faker shit or whatever, I don't know. Everything these guys have done, we've seen it before. So if we've seen it before, we can expect it the next time. And the hard part is like being able to like expect it every time, right? You need to constantly think about this stuff, right? So if you're sieging mid, how do they stop you? Like the first few things that come to mind is you know, Thresh is gonna flash Flay Lantern, Echo comes from the side with his W, Twitch invisible, right? Those are the things I'm thinking of when I'm sieging, right? And do you have an answer for all of those? Put a pink ward on top of myself for a Twitch, stay away from Thresh flash Flay range, and look at the map to see where Echo's coming from, right? And then that's how you like answer all these questions when you're playing, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So here you guys are like, okay, we need it back because we can't get another tower. I agree. That's super hard to get another tower. What's the plan here now? It's still go mid, right? It's gonna be go mid every time.
Yeah, they've got people mid, so
yeah. In this kind of game,
we're trying to play into their game at the moment.
Yeah. In this kind of game, it's gonna go mid every time. You say, okay, the mindset is what? You're gonna clear waves until your team is back to help you. And then the second thing is, oh, if you see Twitch, you can get lane priority. So you're gonna push mid and then roam with your team, right? Try and get something. And then be super scared if you don't have mid priority, like this, right? If you don't have mid priority, you have to be super scared. You can actually win this, right? You have flash, right? Oh, nice. This is really good bait.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional, but yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the idea here is, before you go do anything, you need to push mid first, right? So, you know, yeah, like I heard you use the word priority, right? So, you need to get priority before you do something, unless you're doing something like a tempo play, right? So, the reason why you have no idea where anyone is because you need to push out the wave and then wait until someone shows up on the wave, and then your team is like, oh, we can go ward now, right? Or you let someone else go first, right? If you have no clue, you let someone else go first. Yeah, this guy could have been like Thresh or something, right? So be scared of that. If you ever want to go do something, you usually can't because you're the AD carry, right? You let the tank go first. You let the support go first. Let someone else go first unless you are baiting this guy, right? Unless you say, oh, it's just gonna be Echo. I have flash. I'm gonna flash his Q after he E's, something like that, right? Unless you have a plan to come up with what they're gonna do, right? If you're gonna face check, you have to have a plan in mind and expect that they're there, right? Like this is like, take a look at this Ezreal. Ezreal is like pushing mid, right? And then Zed, like what happened? We already know what happens without having to see it. Zed W'd in, ulted his face, and landed everything, right? So if Ezreal wasn't prepared for that, then he just fucking dies, right? That's a throw. You have to be prepared for that kind of stuff, right? It's like, obviously when you watch it, it's like it's super obvious because you've seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to expect it in game. What do you want? How do you get it? How do they stop you? What you want? You want mid priority. How do you get it? You push the wave in. How do they stop you? They fight you when you're trying to hit the minions, right? So in this case, the obvious way is Twitch comes out right when you hit the minions, right? So how do you stop that? If you have no Zed or Bard, then you can't. So you don't push mid, right? You have to wait until they push you in, right? So that's how you figure these things out, and you have to come up with this process every single time, right? So what do you want here, right?
Yeah, the wave's coming in bot again. I go to. I think Twitch is actually waiting in that bush.
Yeah, he's like somewhere down there, so you can't let go, right? You can't go by yourself because you have no answer for his engage, right? So you send Kled. That's good, right? Kled or Zed has to be in a side lane, and you have to keep pushing mid and stuff like that. But you have no idea what Twitch is, so it's kind of spooky.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that in my head at this point. I just waited here until I had people beside me.
Right, that's good. That's good. Okay, so team fight breaks out. Let's see what happens here. You come to help because the fight's breaking out, right? That's good. Hold up. What's the mindset behind ulting Echo?
He was the closest member that everyone could hit, but he could just ult the health back on him.
Right. So, usually you want to like
priority target maybe.
Yeah, kind of like saving is always unless you're saying something like, okay, I have executioners. If I apply my executioner debuff on his body before he ults, this is how I like stop that kind of healing or whatever. You always need like a purpose, right? What do you want right now? You want to join the fight. Ulting here prevents you from joining the fight for like 2 seconds, right? So you always need to know what you want, right? Unless you're like finishing them off or something and they can't block, right? Because here, like if you know what you want to join the fight. How do you do it? Okay, you put trap here, and then you like hit the closest target, and you put traps like wherever, right? So, oh wow, this is fucking free. Look at all these traps. That was really good. Whew. But yeah, okay here. Right? You always have to ask yourself why. So why do you not here?
It's more. I don't really know.
No idea. Yeah, exactly. No idea, right? Everything needs to be used with a purpose. Because you use the net, you can't. It's like really hard for you to follow.
If somebody comes on me now, then.
Yeah, exactly. So basically everything you do needs a purpose, right? These traps, because they can't move, so they're gonna get trapped, and you're gonna headshot them, and you get Q. That's really good. Okay, and then your net is used for what? You save it, right? If you don't need it, you save it, basically. I think this is less of a problem than the kind of autopilot, right? This is not really that big of an issue, at least not yet. But it is something to think about. This is just like mechanics, right? Using abilities when you have no need to, right? That was really good. You cleaned up everyone. That was a really good fight. That's what you guys needed. Wow.
Yeah, this game goes a bit back and forth, I think.
That Bardo was sick. I would be careful putting traps next to Fiora. Why?
Oh, she could just use that against me, can't she?
Yeah, she can use the stun thingy, right? If she stunned your team on their tower, everyone would have been upset at you.
Yeah.
So if you put down a trap, that's like saying I want to bait out your stun so that she can't use it or something, right? You're trying to bait a mistake, but you always have to be conscious of that, right? Oh wow, what happened here?
Yeah, it's just a greedy back, really.
Oh yeah, that's super awkward.
Yeah, I was around the wall, so
she's like walking through the minion wave. So this is kind of like this. I'm sure this doesn't happen very often, but when you're like backing or looking to buy, always like pay attention until the back finishes, right? But don't worry about that too much. I don't think. Does that happen often? I feel like that's not something that would happen often.
It was just one of them games, I think, where I was just,
Right, it's super unfortunate because now they're gonna do.
I thought I'd show you a game where I made a lot of mistakes. So there's no point me showing one where I did actually all right.
Yeah, true. So this is super awkward.
Yeah, they get Baron because of that. That's what I was on about. Like, if the Zed hadn't popped off and I made all these mistakes, I probably could have cost us the game. With stuff I was doing.
All it takes is one mistake, right? And then it's like, oh shit. So This is really good though. Put the trap down. He's gonna die for free. Yeah. So interesting, right? So basically, in solo queue, if you don't do what that echo does, you're just gonna like kill everyone. That's basically how solo queue works. Is preventing yourself from making these kinds of mistakes by like thinking, right? By figuring out what do you want, how do you get it, and then how can they stop you, right? So what did they want here? Like I don't even know, right? What did he want here? I'm just gonna let's take a look at them.
Echo just got caught, maybe. Or...
They want a dragon, right? So how did they get it? Everyone comes to dragon, and then they put vision on it.
They rush
so
it on, yeah.
what went wrong? Twitch and Fiora went for the wave, and Echo and Thresh still try to fight for dragon, right? So there's some boosted shit, and then they die for it, right? So look at this. He goes in after Thresh dies. It's like what was he? What did he expect was gonna happen? Even if he stunned the Zed, right? I don't know what he was expecting, but nothing good. And he just like
and he Johnsons again.
Right. So it's like I don't know. All we have to do is not do what they did, and you just like win every game. But yeah. So after you kill everyone, obviously the correct choice is just take this dragon, or maybe push out. Right. After you get this dragon, what now? Right. You always have to ask yourself, what now? What now? What do you want?
Nah, there's the inner tower's still up bot, and the waves in a semi-decent spot. So. Looking for tower damage on that because they've got 3 members down. I don't think everyone commits to that, so I just shove this wave in.
And you don't think they can stop you, right? Or
if everyone was there, probably not. But I don't. Think,
everyone backed off, right? So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It was a good idea, good attempt. It would make sense, but everyone like backed off, so you back off. That's good. Yeah. Zed's going for some solo play. I don't really know what's going on in this game, but. He looks for something, nothing happens. Okay, you guys take this fight. What's wrong with this fight?
They've got a man advantage, haven't they? Because Ezreal's just coming, so that's a 2v3.
What do you want? Zed wants to fight. Okay, how do they stop you? They just send everyone, and it's just like, okay. So, you know that this plan
I think I just walk away.
Yeah, that's good, right? You know this plan has 0% chance of working, right? Like pretty much 0, right? So you gotta get out of here. So... now that Zed's dead, what happens to your plan? What's your plan now? Right? Your plan before is push out and stuff.
Yeah.
So what's the plan now?
Run away at first. If Zed's dead, they're always gonna have a man advantage doing something. So I guess just wait for them to shove minion waves into us.
Right. So you know
Zed's back up.
Exactly. You know that you have a man disadvantage. So what you're going to do is you're going to clear waves as safely as possible. How can they stop you? Okay, you see Twitch, Echo, and Thresh, right? So if you can account for all those 3 things, you can defend the tower. And if you can't, then you leave the tower, right? You let the tower go. So yeah, let's see what happens, right? That's like how you play. Okay, this is like you say your plan against them sieging is putting these traps down. That's fine too. So whoever's pinging come mid is kind of they're trying to make this fight happen. I think it's maybe because they see Echo top, so they're like, let's take a 4v4. Sure, why not? That's fine, I guess. All right, it's like, okay, the plan is let's force a fight because we see Echo Fiora. They know Fiora has no TP or something. Sure, whatever, it doesn't matter. You just follow up because it seemed like it was the right thing to do, right?
Yeah.
What about here? What's going on? After you get the kill, now what?
Well, we have everyone up now, so I'll probably look to get priority mid and maybe get some vision down.
You want priority mid, right? And then you're gonna get vision. Okay, so how can they stop you?
They could send multiple members to me, but
like, how can they stop you?
Don't know.
Right, Twitch though, right? Isn't Twitch always gonna be one way they can stop you? Twitch is always gonna be one way they can stop you, right? So if Twitch is right next to you, right when you threw this auto attack, you would have lost your flash at least, right? So and then you say, okay, how do we counter that? I wait for my team to be next to me, because then if Twitch tries to do that and you have a man advantage, you're gonna win, right? As long as you don't die to initial few auto attacks, you're just gonna E him and then ult him, right? So you always need to come up with something, right? Because like it might not happen this time, but like the other times is the same thing, right? Like the other times you died to Twitch, it was the exact same thing.
Yeah. So you need to have a plan for every time it could happen.
Right, like that's why Zach is one of the stupidest champions in the game, because he can always jump on your ass, right? And then it's just like, wait, what do I do? Same thing with Cho'Gath. There's like nothing you can do. He's gonna walk up to you. He's gonna flash out. Okay, so what do? You stay out of flash out range. It's pretty hard. Stuff like that is, but we need to come up with something. And if you can't come up with something, then you can't be out there, right? So it's still the same situation, right? If you didn't see Twitch, Twitch could still be. Oh, you guys did see Twitch, so that's fine. But it's still the same thing. It doesn't matter where you are, because it can still happen under tower at like 6 items or something, right? You always have to think about how you would stop you if you were the other team, if that makes any sense, right? Pretend you're the other guy. How would they stop you from doing what you want?
Yeah.
Same thing here, right? Same thing here. It's always the same thing. It's always the same thing. So you're gonna get red. Nice. Warwick gives it to you, and then you say, "Oh, I see Twitch, so that's no longer a threat." So you can come join this fight. I don't know what's going on. It looks like you're gonna win because Twitch like came out of stealth and you didn't get anything. Yeah. So that's good. His name is Rat Low. Nice. You just hit this guy. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's like Furious going on in the backline. I don't really know what's going on, but this is good, right? So you say, "What's the plan?" You come help the team. You just hit the closest guy, right? It's good to go, right? Right, not easy, nice. You just hit this guy, yeah. Simple. So basically, as long as you like don't get caught, like this is really good, right? That was basically, you could not have played that better, almost, right? The outcome was basically as good as it's gonna get, and you didn't really have to do anything, right?
Yeah.
Did you have to do anything like mechanically challenging?
Nah, just right click.
yeah, exactly. So the challenging stuff comes from thinking about, try and get the best fight possible and not get caught by like their shit, right? Like here, what's the issue here?
Well, they could. This is a pretty. It's a.
Always
they have a vision of me backing, but
always what you want. Always what you want. What do you want here? Right, you're missing out on opportunities, right? You need to always ask yourself, what do you want? So what do you want here?
Yeah.
Like, why do you want to back? Is like always something to consider, right?
Well, like, I probably could have shoved that next wave up. I was by myself.
Right. You could shove up the next wave. You're by yourself, so you say it's a 1v2. If they come at me 1v2, what happens? My team's gonna come help me, or I know Thresh has no flash, something like that, right? You can push out this wave for no cost. So after something happens, right? What you want changes. So when I say after something happens, it's like after a team fight happens, after an objective happens, after someone gets caught, after you guys catch someone, right? Your plan changes, right? If you're on the winning side, you say, what's the best thing I can get, right? Sometimes it's Baron, sometimes it's a minion wave, sometimes it's the enemy red, right? Enemy red camp. And if you're losing, you say, how do I mitigate the damage done? Right, so you say I'm gonna sit mid and clear as many waves as possible, as long as it's safe, etc., right? So after you won the fight, what's the best thing you can get? You should get a mini wave, right? That's like kind of the process. Like what you want changes based on what happens, but you need to figure out what you want first, right? So after this shit happens, you kind of need to get more money because Zed has not been going to a side lane in the mid game. Well, he went sometimes, but you guys shared a lot of farms, so you need some kind of income.
Yeah.
So yeah, unless that GA was like you thought was super important, maybe like shove another wave before everyone spawns would be good, right? So this is like kind of your answer to Twitch, which is not bad. Yes. I would say it's pretty good if he comes out for your GA and he dies for it. That's good. But yeah, it's always the same thing, right? It's always the same thing. Like here, what do you want? Like what did you want after pushing this wave in?
There's not much up at the moment. So I'm just probably waiting for us to group, like for everyone to be ready. Exactly.
That's exactly what like. If I were you, I'm thinking, oh, I'm pushing this in, and then we wait for Warwick, right? How do they stop me if we push in? Twitch comes out. Okay, what happens if Twitch comes out? He's gonna die to Zed, right? And if he Zed, then I
people with me, so
right, exactly, right. You have people with you; they can't really force on you as easily. So wait for everyone. Stay with the team. This is good.
This I die here.
This is kind of awkward. So you guys, your
Yeah,
idea
I
is
really
like,
no
let's go
idea what I'm
help.
doing here.
Oh, this is spooky. Hold on. What's going on here? So the idea is to help, right?
Yeah. I didn't see Twitch.
We have like no
and
vision.
Didn't know Ezreal was there, so I thought I'd be safe to go through there, but
That is super awkward.
I wasn't.
What is going on? Oh, that was a nice trap, but it didn't really matter at that point, right? So this is like kind of one of those. This is like a good game to look
So I
at.
really shouldn't have gone that way.
Right. It's like it's the same thing with say, remember back when you wanted to push another wave but Twitch was alive, right? And
Yeah.
I think or Twitch and Echo were alive and you got caught because you wanted to push another wave. It's the same concept, right? You ask yourself what do you want? You want to help the Zed fight. Okay, you know, how are they going to stop you? They're all there and you have to pretend they're all like in fog of war, right? You have to pretend they're all over this wall, right? So if they're all over this wall, what happens? Twitch is going to ult you, Ezreal is going to combo you, and then there's nothing you can do, right? So if I were you, I would have hit this plant first and then like worked my way up or take the safe way. But you always have to be if you cannot see them, you have to assume they're in the worst possible place for you, right?
Yeah.
Right. None of this is mechanics, right? This is a good game to show that. Yeah, this is a good game to show that, you know, a lot of this game is not necessarily mechanics dependent, right? The majority of this game is you know, kind of thinking dependent, right? So yeah, if you ever come to help, always be scared of fog of war, right? If you can't see them. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know what's going on in this fight. It doesn't matter anymore because your power is done. So oh yeah, it's kind of awkward. Just skip past this. But yeah, if you ever go help, it's the same kind of idea. What you wanted was to go help, and how they stopped you is they just hit you. So, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's
it's like all the same thing. It's like all the same thing. Like here, what do you want? Like, what do you want? Like here, I know what I want if I were you.
I'm just trying to hit the closest target him.
Right. And I would be like, let's fight, right? Why would I say let's fight?
Fresh just missed his hook.
Well, it's a 4v4 because that goes top, right?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a 4v4, and one of their carries is missing. So, there's like no way you guys can lose this. You have two tanks, and you just hit the closest guy and you win. And all you have to do is watch out for Thresh and Twitch. Okay, Twitch hits someone else, you're just gonna win, right? So, how did this fight start? You just walk at them, right?
I think they overstayed.
Yeah. See, your team is like, yeah, they know what they want, right? So all you have to do is follow up.
Was doing.
Right. This is good. Right. So the plan was look to fight, and then someone found the fight. So the plan is, oh, okay, now we help this fight, and then make sure we don't get caught by like Twitch or something, right? Okay, like same thing here, right? You won the fight. What's the best thing you can get?
Dragon's up, Baron's up as well.
Right, so what's the
Baron?
Best thing you can get. Best thing you can get is Baron, right? So ping Baron.
Yeah.
Obviously it's not gonna be Baron all the time. Like if your death timers were low, or you guys had no HP, or you guys had no tank, right? But in this case, you have a tank and everyone's alive. You can Baron. I don't know what's going on. There's another fight going on, but you shouldn't lose this. You're gonna Baron after this. I hope once everyone dies. Same thing here. What's the mindset behind running away, right? You want to not die to Echo, right?
Ultimate was on me, yeah.
Right, but basically, if you can come up with a plan to stop the Echo ult, right, then you don't have to be afraid of it. So what would be an example of a plan in this case?
Trap on top of him. Or
it's
on
really
top
hard.
of
I would say it's really hard to do that. I was gonna say, you know, use E the instant you see an animation going off, right, and then he's gonna miss his ult, right, something like that. But in my eyes, even if he ults you here, you're not gonna die, right? I don't think you would die here if he ulted you. Because like look at his items, right? You have to look at his items. It depends on what they have too. So, right. Like for example, Twitch is 0 and 10, and he has the Blade of the Ring King only. You don't have to be afraid of that anymore, right? Because now you know if he comes out, then you just laugh and you hit him. Yeah. It's the same kind of idea. So good, you guys go get Baron. Good. And then after the Baron, what do you do? Right, it's always the next step, right? They can't. Anytime there's downtime in the game, right, is your time to think for free, right? Anytime there's down, like anytime you're hitting a tank who has no cooldowns, you're walking between, like you're rotating and you can see everyone, stuff like that. You're doing Baron. What do you want next, right? Like here.
Yeah, I got a lot of gold off that fight, so it's probably best to reset right after Baron. Then you can either go for Dragon. There's 2 inner turrets on bottom top lane as well.
Right. So back, go straight Dragon. Right. That's the kind of thinking you need to do. What do I want right now? What do I want right now? And then if you say you can't get the Dragon for whatever reason, you get bot, that's fine, right? But if you guys wanted the Dragon, maybe I should have ran there immediately, right? It's always about what you want. And then can they stop you? The answer is no, because they're dead, right? So you want it red, you get red. What's the plan? You push bot, or you guys getting Dragon. It's very important to know what you want, because your plan shouldn't change unless something significant happens, right? So like in the laning phase, it was like if you had decided that you wanted the level 2 first, you would not have used your Q on Ezreal, right? So that's why it's very important to figure out what you want at this moment. So you guys want Dragon.
Yeah, I think they fight, but I just decided to finish it because
I think that's fine.
I'm probably not close enough to help at that point anyway.
That is fine. That's fine. So whatever is going on, you're like, okay, this is a good fight. They don't need my help. I'm just gonna push mid, right? This is all good. All right, he just fucking right click him. He can't do anything, right? This is good. This is good, right? No real issues here, right? So basically, all the good plays you've made are ones where they had no answer to, right? You help your team and you just die, right? And then all the like kind of throws you've done were things you were caught like by surprise, right? So like the thresh hook in lane, that you didn't have to flash. Same thing with the echo W. Anytime they like tried to, anytime you wanted to do something and they like went to stop you, but you were like surprised that they tried to stop you, right? Anything like those are like that's like your only problem, right? Is figuring out like what you want at any time in the game, right? If you play the next game and I was like watching over your shoulder and I can somehow pause the game, like stop time, and I'll be like, what do you want right now? You should be able to answer like within the second, because that's what you should.
Yeah, I think I might like write down on like a notepad or something just to like jog my memory.
That's good. That's good. That's.
I feel like I'm so consumed in like what I'm doing in the game, I don't think about the other stuff that I should be thinking about, really.
Right. So the way to build this mindset, right? This is what I want you to do, right? I think we've seen like pretty much the whole game. Is for you to like work on this this mindset thing. This is what I think will help you the most, right? It's not mechanics. It's not any of that. It's not farming. It's not CSing. It's figuring out, like coming up with a plan of like what I want to do, like what I want, like how do you get it, and can they stop me? I want you to think in that order, right? And then if something happens, right? Someone gets caught, you guys catch someone, right? Then you update that. You start from step 1. What do I want? Does that change, right? Say the enemy Twitch took a bad fight and he had 50 HP. What you want might change because now he has the back, right? Now Twitch has the back, so maybe you say, oh, we can get Baron, or we can get Baron Vision, right? What do you want? What do you want? How do you get it? And then can they stop me, right? So anything else is like, okay, you're just helping your team. Like every time you didn't have to do that, you guys just won because you're just like better team comp, I guess. Yeah, you guys are the better team comp.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they don't really have a front line. Really.
Yeah, they didn't really have a front line. Their Echo's useless almost. I don't know what he's doing, but he's not pressuring you. Ezreal doesn't know how to play Ezreal, I guess. I don't know what's going on. But basically, if you can fix like that one thing, I think you will like that's like the fastest way to improve from what I've seen here. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that is definitely what I recommend. And then it's like then you get down to like then you start learning like the specifics. Like what do I want is kind of based on the game state, right? So like I said, like when I was pointing out, oh, you could have gotten this wave, that's stuff that comes after you can make this kind of once you can do this like every game, then you can start researching on your best options, right? Like when I was saying what's the best thing you can get, and it would be like another wave. That's something that comes after you learn how to do this kind of stuff, right? So
yeah.
I would definitely strongly suggest doing those 3 steps for everything every time in the game, right? Literally every time, right? Literally anytime something happens after you like push in the wave, then you change your mindset. Oh, I wanted to get vision after pushing the wave. Then you go get vision. Can they stop me? I see Thresh in the mid lane, so no, they can't stop me, right? So I want you to come up with those 3 things every time. Every time you want to do something.
If I was doing that, but say I was like quite behind, and like I wanted to do something, but like because I was so far behind or something, like how would that change it? Like
for like in this game, is there an example in this game you're referring to, or?
I don't think I was ever that far behind. So say like I get completely smashed in lane or something, and like how would your mindset kind of change if like? So obviously like the 3 things like what do I want, but like how do you get it? Obviously if you're quite behind, it's gonna be.
So if like this is kind of a good example because some shit went down and you're stuck at like your bot lane tower and they were like killing you outside your second tower, right? This is kind of the example, right? So what you wanted was to clear the bot wave, and then you couldn't get it because they were all there. So what do? You don't go for the bot wave.
That's alright, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you stay under tower, you buy pink ward, you do something that has like high success rate and low risk, right? So maybe buy pinks and put it down and set up a death bush for your team, right? Anything that doesn't involve taking a bad option, right? So kind of what you're describing is, what if you're so far behind you have 0 options, right? Or you have like very little options and you just do the best you can, and like because usually those are kind of fringe games unless you're like losing lane insanely every time. Those are kind of like fringe games, right? So you kind of don't really worry about that kind of like some shit will happen every time, but if you do fall behind, it's still the same kind of mindset. Just what you want is like what you can get is like very little, right? So if you're like super far ahead and you say what do I want, what you want can change to like, oh, we can just like hit the inhib tower here or something like that if you're super far ahead. So if you're like super far behind and you say like, I'm gonna stay under tower because they can't dive me, right? And I'm gonna make sure the tower is not hitting minions, so it's gonna hit them when they dive, right? Something like that. The mindset's still the same. It's just like this is a good example. I think this is the example that I was talking about when they just like
I get fresher flash flays me, I think.
All right, so what you want is clear the wave, right? And you say there's no possible way to get this, and you stand on a tower, right? And then what happens then? Well, if they're bot, then your team is gonna run train on the other side of the map, right? So if they're sitting here waiting for you, right? Your team's taking top tower. Okay, and then the instant you see Thresh top, oh, all of a sudden you can just push this or farm this or whatever, right? So your plan is, okay, I literally can't get anything. I sit under tower until my plan changes, right? Until something happens. You see someone on the other side of the map, oh, my plan changes, right? So sitting here under tower is not a bad option when the enemy top laner is dead, right? Because what happens is Clyde and Warwick are like hitting the top tower, and then say they don't respond. Okay, they keep pushing. So at what point does the enemy respond? And the instant they respond, it's like, oh, now I can come out and do something.
Yeah.
Or maybe you should, maybe there's literally no hope, and you just like back and buy a pink ward and put it, you know, in the closest bush next to your tower. And then if your team sees where they are because of your pink ward, then your team knows that, oh, we can take Rift Herald, or we can take second tower, or we can camp for Fiora, something like that, right? But basically, it comes down to, don't try and do something that's impossible, right? Like we were talking about when Bard killed himself, right? It's kind of a similar situation. Bard killed himself. You're in a 1v2.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, it's not really possible to guarantee the win, right? Like at all, right? It's not really possible. So you don't try and do that. So, but yeah, that's what I would say. Did that answer your question? Did that help at all?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, nice.
I think so, yeah.
Any last questions? You want to go back and review anything we talked about in this game before we wrap it up?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, cool. Yeah, let me like practice this method like in your next 20 games. If you need help with like remembering it in game, what I do is like write it down, or for me, I like say it out loud like over and over again. Like what I've been doing the last few games is like, oh, have to watch out for mid engage because they're playing like I don't know, playing Echo or something. So I have to watch out for his W, right? He's gonna come over the wall with his E, so I have to watch out for that.
Yeah.
Try and just figure out anything that works for you and practice this method until you do it every game, right? This is not something that's like you do it 5 times and then all of a sudden you're better. It's something that's like, you do it every game and now you are better than everyone else who's not doing it, right? If you can do that every game, you're better than these other 9 players, right? And that's how you climb, is you improve yourself. So practice the 3 steps, right? The method of figuring out what you want, how do you get it, how they stop you, and I think you'll like improve really quick if you can do that. So
I've written it down, so constant reminder.
Good. Let me know how that goes, and if you have any other questions, I'm always on Discord. Sound good?
Yeah. Good.
Cool. Oh, Thank you. Do you mind if this goes on YouTube or?
No? Oh no, yeah, you can put it on YouTube, yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. Good luck in solo queue, and I hope things go well.
Thank you.
All right, man. Good luck out there.